The corruption case against the former ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule and his co-accused back in that High Court over in Bloemfontein. Let's go straight there now where we find my colleague and reporter Moloko Moloto watching this for us. So a stay of prosecution is what Magashule was looking for. Moloko, good morning. Bring us up to speed. What are we expecting today?
Good morning, Gareth Edwards. Yes, today a big day for the former Secretary-General of the ANC, Ace Magashule, along with the other 17 accused in this fraud and corruption-related matter. Of course, it relates to the 255 million rand asbestos tender. The company owned by businessman Edwin Sodi was awarded that contract by the Provincial Human Settlements Department to audit, to assess and also to remove the asbestos roof from the houses here in the Free State province. At the time, Ace Magashule was the premier of the province, and another of the accused is Olim Lamleli, who was previously the executive mayor of Nangamangaung Metro, but at the time of this particular awarding of the tender, she was the MEC for that Human Settlement Department. But perhaps maybe I should give you a picture of what is happening outside here in court, Gareth. I'm just going to ask my colleague Lingenda Bambi. He's panning the camera towards my left here. There's a huge security and police presence here. You can see that truck of the police. Essentially what has happened is that they have blockaded the street that passes through or in front of the court. So they only allow authorized vehicles to pass before here. And in all the court cases that I have attended in this particular High Court in the recent times, this has not happened, even with the New Lane trial that included the Gupta associates. This was not the case. This is an indication perhaps that the police are leaving nothing to chance for whatever reason. Now, this particular day, we don't expect much. According to the NPA, this is going to be a pre-trial conference. Essentially what it means is that there will be exchange of information from both the state as well as the defense, and they will have to agree and perhaps disagree on some of the documents or case or matters relating to this particular case. This is in preparation essentially for the date of the trial as well. Of course, Ace Magashule has always maintained that this particular case is politically motivated. He's claimed that it was meant to prevent him from contesting for a position in the National Executive Committee of the ANC in December, and he has always said that he has stolen no money of government, and saying that he is ready to face this particular trial, essentially professing his innocence. Now, during the week, you might have heard, Gareth, that Ace Magashule, I think, as well as Edwin Sodi, I think it was 4 of the 18 accused, they were unsuccessful in the Supreme Court of Appeal when that particular appeals court dismissed their application to strike these particular charges completely, because they believe that there's no case for them to answer here. But the Supreme Court of Appeal dismissed that particular application. It was a second failure on their part, because initially they also attempted to do that in the very same High Court. So today it's going to be a short really appearance here regarding this particular matter, and we don't expect it to drag on for hours.
And just as I let you go, Moloko, do we know if Ace Magashule himself needs to appear in the court today? Forgive me if you did mention it. I may have missed it if you started off with that. Does he need to appear in court? I imagine with all that security there, that is very much the case. And are there going to be supporters, do you think? Are you seeing any of them? And do we expect him to address any of his supporters?
Well, in any criminal case, usually the accused must appear in person. So I expect that all the accused, including the former Secretary-General of the ANC, Ace Magashule, will have to appear here in person. In terms of the support, really, there is no one that I have seen here who seemingly is out to support the former Secretary General of the party. And that obviously, of course, we will wait to see what happens throughout the day. But yes, at some point, Ace Magashule in this province was a very popular man. Of course, popular depending on which side of the fence you are sitting. With some people, they really hated him. Particularly those who were his political detractors, but others really loved him. And he was a chairperson of the ANC in this province for a very long time, and of course he was also premier, and definitely he still has support among some of the people here. But over the time, particularly after his suspension as the Secretary General of the ANC, that support was beginning to dwindle. And if you remember, Ace Magashule was really cutting a lone figure even during the National Conference of the ANC. The Secretary General, of course, he was suspended at the time, not allowed to go inside the conference venue, observing that conference as an outsider, literally outside the conference venue. So his support really and his influence that he possibly believed he had has gone down, and today is going to be an acid test to see whether the ANC members or his supporters will be out here in court to support him.
You took away my next question. I was about to ask you, do we know which of the ANC members are going to be out there in support? But you've addressed it there. It's all up in the air at the moment. But what we do know, Moloko, thank you for the clarity, is the accused, all of the accused, including Ace Magashule, will be in that courtroom behind Moloko Moloto a little bit later. He'll be on standby for us. We'll go live to him again, either once the court starts or once Ace Magashule does arrive at the courthouse.